What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Just United. We're back for another matchday preview. It's Crystal Palace versus Manchester United away at Selhurst Park. I'm joined by Jay.
Yes, guys, and it's a big one against Palace. United need a performance. We need a statement. We need to beat them. What do you think?
100%. And, you know, it's not been easy against Palace in the last few attempts. Not going to lie. I mean, we've drawn one game in the last four.
It's a bit of an awkward one, isn't it? It's
very awkward. It's a clash of formations. Amorim versus Glasner. It's a big game. And we need to get back to winning ways after losing to Everton at home. A dismal performance from this team. You know, Everton were down to 10 men and we just couldn't unlock them with their low block, and we couldn't take advantage of, you know, having 11 men on the pitch. Let's hope that this game's different and we can get something away from home.
But you know what? We dust ourselves off and we learned from that loss against Everton. It was a bad one, but we pick ourselves up, dust ourselves off.
It's going to be a tough one because we're coming off a loss. They're in good form. They're coming off a loss as well against Strasbourg. They lost 2-1. But again, they had wholesale of changes in that game as well. So I expect a lot stronger team for this game. How are you feeling going into it?
I just think that it'll be a battle of formations and strategy because we both have a similar sort of system, a similar sort of way of playing. You know, we both like the 3-4-3. So it's going to be a real test to see which manager can pit the post and get a result over the other. And I'm hopeful that, you know, we can do the business. It's just going to be a real test for us. What do you think?
No, 100%. And if we can get a result, then, you know, we're back to winning ways. And hopefully the United strand can get on a little bit of a happy hype again. And, you know, we can get a few wins under the belt and carry on with that form. It is difficult. You know, we're missing some key players going into this game with the likes of Cunha, Mbeumo, Sesko and Harry Maguire. So it's going to be a tough ask. But that's why, you know, for this episode, I want to talk about the formations because, you know, 3-4-3, it's Amorim's system. But, you know, in London, it's something completely different with the way that they're playing. They're playing the same formation, but they're able to get results and they're able to grind results out as well.
Why do you think Palace can sort of, I don't know, they seem to play better in that system than we do? What do you think that is?
I think it's to do with the personnel. I don't think it's entirely just on the manager and, you know, him being stubborn and saying he's not going to change. I do think that the personnel is a major key of that. You know, we've seen in United teams over the years, midfield wins you trophies and it wins you Premier Leagues. At the moment, our midfield is without Casemiro in it. And, you know, he's on his last legs in terms of what he can bring to the team.
I don't know if I agree with that. I think
when I say last legs, he's not, you know, he's not in his prime. He's not.
I kind of feel like he's found his form again.
He can put in a shift. Yeah, I agree. But you've seen as soon as he goes off the pitch, you know, we kind of capitulate a little bit. Yeah. And it's a bit different because we haven't got anybody to come on and replace him. Yes, we have Kobbie Mainoo, but, you know, Kobbie Mainoo doesn't really want to be coming on when we're losing 1-0 to Everton because it's a fight then, because you have to run around all up and down the pitch, make the press, make the tackles. You have to put in a lot more effort than what you would as if you're 1-0 up or you're 2-0 up in a game.
And it's getting that mentality right, isn't it? When you come on, it's injecting that positivity.
It's difficult though. It's very difficult.
But remember, we've beaten Liverpool, we've beaten Chelsea, so, you know, take those wins and you know, capitalize on how that felt and bring this into this game.
And that's what it's all about, you know, with this team. It's consistency, and, you know, Glasner's found that consistency with his team, and they like to line up in a 3-4-3 as well. So the formation, everybody's always going to say whether it's a good thing, whether it's a bad thing. But at the end of the day, the personnel do make a lot of difference. And, you know, when we've got a fully fit squad, we have got Cunha in the team, we have got Sesko in the team, we look a different outfit. And I think we saw in the Everton game, we were missing that.
Yeah.
Especially with Cunha missing, because, you know, Bruno was far too deep. And especially when Casemiro was going off the pitch. You know, he was even further back,
I
and
agree, yeah.
when Casemiro was on the pitch, Bruno, you know, he'd pass it to Casemiro. Casemiro would make the pass, and then Bruno would make his way up the pitch. But now it's like without Casemiro, we haven't got no second option, and we ain't got no other answers to how we deal with these teams that do sit in a low block. Far too much side to side passing, you know, not enough penetration, not enough runs in behind, and we're sorely missing the likes of Tesco for that.
What we're lacking in penetration and stuff, we're making for in chances created. I think we're like in the top 4 percentile of chances created per team per Premier League.
No, chances are being created, of course. I think it's only Liverpool, and I think it's been like that since the start of the season, that have created more chances than us. And only, you know, I think it's Chelsea who've had more shots on target than us. But being able to convert those chances and hitting the target is two different things, because, you know, we've been up in games, we've been winning at halftime, we've gone in and, you know, we've just, like the Nottingham Forest game, we're just giving away a lead within 2-3 minutes. And that consistency is something that this team needs to find. They need to let go of anything that's happened in the past. And, you know, sometimes, you know, those scars, you know, they're there to bear. And, you know, you can see it sometimes on these players' faces with the likes of Luke Shaw or, you know, Bruno, even when they're having a tough game, you know, heads drop.
So let me ask you another thing about heads dropping. Do you think then, like, because there's so many injuries, do you think that affects the mentality of the team? Like, they think they're not as good going forward without, like, their key players, or do you think they don't really worry about that? What do you think?
I just think it's a bit... It's hard to put your finger on it, because, you know, if you could just point it out and say that's what the problem is, you know, it'd be a lot easier for anyone to say, like Ruben Amorim, to say, okay, I know what I need to do now to fix it. But I'm pretty sure that even sometimes when he's put a team out or given a team talk, that it's difficult for him to put his finger on it and say, okay, I don't know what's quite going on right now. And, you know, he has said it a couple of times that it is the mentality of the team, and, you know, it is probably more of a mental thing than a physical thing, because we know the players are fit, and, you know, we know that when they do play well, they can get a result, which is why, you know, the next thing I want to talk about is these two players in Mbeumo and Mount, because I think they're going to be key, because as much as, you know, Mount has been here for a while,
He's been injured
for a lot of it, but I think, you know, him and Mbeumo, they bring a different kind of mentality. And against Everton, when Mount came on, you could see he was trying to string a few passes together, trying to get forward, make tackles, and, you know, he's trying to make something happen. But when the game's kind of dead rubber like that, it's difficult to get something out of it.
You know what it is for me, for Mount and Mbeumo? It's the energy they bring to the team. They bring like a lease of energy, like a new battery. It's almost like they charge the team and they charge forward and they're relentless. They don't stop till they get the ball. And that's what I love about Mason Mount. He's a workhorse. Any information or anything the manager asks of him, he carries it out to the tee.
100%. And that's what you want from any teammate or any player that's out on that pitch. Because, you know, if you can see someone that's been running all game, you kind of think to yourself, okay, I need to do the same. And, you know, it gives the manager something to think about as well, which is why I think for this game, they're going to be key. And with, like I keep touching on it, with Sesko, with Cunha missing, we're going to need to do something different, because at the end of the day, people are going to look at it and say, you're coming up against the same system. If this is your system, then you should know how to beat it as well. And that's what Ruben Amorim's going to have to, you know, have a think about when he names that starting lineup for this game. But yeah, let's get into our predicted 11s now, because it's a tough game. But we'll start with yours. How you feeling, and why have you gone with this team?
Well, for a start off, I've gone with Lamens in goal. For me, he's good so far. He's been solid. I got no complaints with him. I've gone with Yoro as a right back. I think he's been, you know, solid. He's got the pace to handle any one-on-one situation. I think he's coming out good. Wasn't so great in the last game against Everton, but, you know, heads dropped. Let's pick it up. Let's go again. Dillit, my man for this season so far.
100%,
He's been absolutely
100%.
solid. absolutely solid. Is the spine of the team for me. Luke Shaw at left back again. Hopefully we can see a bit more Luke Shaw getting forward and linking up with his interlink play. He's fantastic on the ball when he gets forward. I just want to see more of that. I've gone with Casemiro and Bruno in the middle of the park. Hopefully, we can see some more consistency from them. I've gone with Ahmad on the right as a wing back. I think he's fantastic when he interlinks with Mbeumo. Them two have got something going on. Hopefully, we can see more of that this season. I've gone with Mazraoui as a left wing back over Dalot. I just think he offers a bit more dynamics. And he's good on either foot, and he can go forward. He's a threat going forward, and I really like Mazraoui. Brings a whole new dynamism to the team. I've gone with Matt and Mbeumo because I think the number 10. I think Matt's fantastic at at the press. He's relentless. And Mbeumo's our star danger man. He's going to be a problem for Palace. Going forward, and I've gone with Xerxes as Sesko's injured. I just think
it's interesting you picked Xerxes though after the last game, because I don't think he offered too much against Everton, to be honest. I thought he was really poor, but you've chosen to stick with him. Why have you chosen to stick with him?
I just think we're limited for options, to be honest. I was hoping to see something in the January window. I think Xerxes offers us a bit of a hold up play. He links up well, and he's really.
Don't get me wrong. It was it's difficult for him to come into that game, and having not played or started any games, it was difficult for him to come into. But I just thought he was really poor. But I agree with what you're saying that we haven't really got any other options.
But I think as well, he hasn't had many games to sort of showcase himself this season. But I think the more games and the more opportunity he gets, the better we'll see him, and the better we'll see him play.
Okay.
Let's talk about your team. Who you got?
Okay, so I've gone with something different because that's what we need. We need something completely different for this game. I've gone with Yoro, Delict, and I've started Licha at left centre back because he was fit enough to be on the bench for the Everton game, even if you can only play 60 minutes. Let's get a result.
Would you start him now?
Yeah, I'd start him. Let's get a result. Give him 60 minutes, and talk you through the rest of the team. And before I explain my thinking, I've got Ahmad at right wing back, Kobe Mainoo midfield, Casemiro in midfield. Mainoo, I think we need something different. We need the manager to think outside the box. He hasn't been his first choice this season, but I think this is an opportunity for Kobe Mainoo to kind of stamp some authority on the team and say, I want to start, and this is the reason why you should start me. And I've gone with Luke Shaw, a left wing back. So my thinking behind that is that we start Licha for 60 minutes and Luke Shaw left wing back. And, once Licha's kind of done, we drop Luke Shaw back, take Licha off, maybe bring on Dalo or Dorgu onto on for Licha and put them at left wing back. But that's my thinking. I think we need something completely different, which is why I've gone with the front three of Mbeumo, Mount, and Bruno in the false nine. We've seen it under Ten Hag quite a lot that Bruno can play there in the false nine. I think he gets him further up the pitch. I think that front three is quite interchangeable. Mbeumo could go up top. Mount could go up top in the false nine as well.
Who's going to be the creator of Bruno's playing the false nine?
He'll always drop deep, but I think that just gives you a little bit more in midfield as well. You got four midfielders on the pitch. It packs it out. You can use Mbeumo as your focal point, making those runs in behind. And like I said, that front three is interchangeable. So realistically, Bruno could drop in the 10, and Mbeumo could go up top. Okay. The reason I've kept Mbeumo and I haven't put Mbeumo up top is because I think that right-hand side has been our strongest.
Yeah, 100%.
And most recently, especially in the last game, that left-hand side looked quite weak against Everton, which is why I've pushed Luke Shaw further up for the crosses, and I put Licha just to give you that bit of steel in defence, which we're going to need against Palace. But yeah, that's my predicted 11 for this game. Not predicted 11, well, the 11 that I should go with for this game, because
I like it.
I want something different.
Yeah.
We need a spark. We need something to fall back on when we have got these kinds of injuries. And yeah, let's know what you guys think. Do you agree with who we've chosen in our predicted 11s? Leave a comment down below. But yeah, let's talk about the opposition now. We touched on it a little bit. So we're going to talk about Palace now. Big team, big players up top, in the likes of Mateta, Sarr, Nketiah, danger men up top. Tyreek Mitchell got a goal against Strasbourg in the Conference League. Mark Gahey in defence. Adam Morton, who we've been linked with in midfield.
One of our own.
One of our own. Not yet, but hopefully soon. But yeah, I just, exactly. And we have got one of our own, or one of our own in their goal, in Dean Henderson.
It's quality.
And yeah, trust him to have a man of the match performance against us as well this weekend. But it's a good team, and they got some decent players. And like I said, they're in good form. 1-6, drawn 6. Haven't lost at home this season since February. And it's going to be a big ask to get at this team. But I do believe that if we can kind of, like I said, pack out that midfield, have a little bit more creativity with the likes of Kobe Mainoo, with the likes of Casemiro and Bruno and Mount, I feel like we could get something out this game, because that's, for me, where this game is going to be won, in midfield. Mateta, we know about him, danger man up top. Always. For them. Yeah. Even though he's got a facial injury, he's still going to want to get his head on the ball. That kick was brutal, by the way. Yeah. And yeah, it's going to be a tough ask for this United team to get something. The players who I think we're going to worry about is going to be Sarr for me. He's rapid. Mateta is going to be getting in the box. Nketiah is going to want to get a goal. He always seems to score against us as well. But yeah, let's hope we can keep Adam Morton quiet and, show him what he's missing. Same formation. Let's see what Amorim can do to show that he's a master of this formation to get something out of this game. Let's talk about predictions now. How are you feeling?
I think I'm going to go for 2-1 United.
2-1, okay.
I think we'll be able to get at least 2 goals in this. We create so many chances. It'd be interesting to see how we're going to put them away and capitalize on the chances that we create. I'm interested in your starting lineup as well. It looks like a fantastic team. I'm interested to see how. I
want to see him do something different like that. Do you know what I mean?
It's refreshing to see that, because we'll be too predictable.
100%. And people can talk about the formation, but if you're not going to change your formation, you can still change your personnel.
Yeah.
And tweak it, because he's even said it in press conferences that the 3-4-3 is the base. Doesn't mean that it's end all be all of formations for him. He said it's the base. Ruben Amorim, that is. And let's hope that we can get something different from this game.
Well, hopefully he's learnt from the last game, because he didn't really change things up, and he still had 5 at the back. It didn't make any sense. Everton went down to 10.
And as Fergie would say, you're losing the game 1-0 with 15 minutes to go.
Throw everything.
Shove people in the box. If you lose 2-0, 2-1, whatever it may be, it doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, you're still losing the game. Let's hope that this is a different outcome. I'm going to go for a 2-1 win as well. It's going to be a difficult ask, as we've said so many times in this episode, just because, Palace are a well-oiled machine, and it's going to be difficult for us to break them down if they are sitting in that low block. And let's see what these players bring as well, because like I said, that performance against Everton was dismal.
Yeah, we need to up the ante.
100%. And then sometimes I think, playing away from home, the away fans are there, always cheering them on. And, I feel like there's a little bit less pressure sometimes, because the atmosphere as well when you're at home, especially in those kind of games where if you go behind, it kind of changes. Yeah. But, away from home, the crowd's going to be against you. And the home support's always good.
Well, these are vital points we need to pick up.
Exactly, and let's get back to winning ways. Let's see what Ruben Amorim can do for this game. It's a clash of formations, so make sure you tuned in and make sure you're supporting the team. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and we'll catch you on the next one, guys. See you later.
Peace.